Hey creative friends, welcome back to my channel at Taslima Art. Today I'm unboxing and reviewing something super handy for my resin craft lovers, the Resiners Dual-Zone Silicone Mat. So let's go check it out. So if you enjoy making jars, jewellery, coasters, bookmarks or keepsakes, this resin craft product review is for you. A big shout out to all my Patreon members, viewers and subscribers. Thank you for your support. Don't forget, for a 15% discount with Resiners, use code Taslima Art. As always, please consider your health and safety when using resin products. Make sure you have plenty of ventilation, wear nitrile gloves and use a suitable respirator. So friends, look at this package that just arrived. I'm super excited. This came through the post today, and this is the Resiners Dual-Zone Resin Art Silicone Mat. It's for your mixing station, and it's got a dot textured resin collector. On the packaging it also says that it's a dual zone design, smooth mixing area and dot textured resin collector, and the size is 16 inches by 24 inches. The thickness is 0.21 inches, which is around 5.5 millimeters, so it's relatively a good size, and I really needed something like this because I don't know about you, if you're doing resin crafts, it can get pretty sticky and pretty messy. And whether I have gloves on or not, I do get it everywhere, on all my tools and on the table and everywhere else. So I really need somewhere where I can put down my tools, which have been used to mix up my resin and other bits and bobs and my cups and things. And I can put them somewhere safe where if it drips, then it's not a problem. So I have a feeling that this is going to be super handy for all my resin craft lovers out there watching this. So it's a Resiners double-sided silicone mat. Let's check it out. In terms of first impressions, it came well packaged in a bubble wrap envelope, which is really quite big. You can see the size of that, and that has the mat in it. I think the mat must be folded up, but we'll take a look. I've managed to open it up. I love that it's really well packaged and protected. So I'll just get it out for you. So I'll pop the box over there and have a look at this. So I've already taken it out of this plastic packaging, which will come in use really as well. I do tend to keep all my packaging and reuse it. And this is what it looks like. It's got the same gorgeous colour, this beautiful pastel colour, a pastel green colour, and this is the back of it. It's smooth on the back and it's folded over, and I love already, you know, just feeling it feels really durable just from handling it, and it looks super clean and compact. So let's have a look. I'll just unroll this. Okay, wow, I can't even fit it on the screen how big it is. Actually, I don't know if you can see that. Oops. Sorry for knocking the camera there, but this is the double-sided silicone mat, which means that both sides you can use for... Oh, it's upside down. I'll just turn it around. Right, so this is the double-sided silicone mat, which means both sides are usable, and that's a big win for messy projects like resin pouring, epoxy paint, even hot glue, or even acrylic pouring, which I've done a lot of in the past. It's a good size, isn't it? It's big enough for serious crafters, but it still fits nicely on your table and workspace, I think. It's a really decent size, and I love that I can pop this on the side here, away from the camera, away from my workstation, and I can put down my utensils and things that I use for resin crafting onto this mat. So you can see the two different sides on here, and you can feel it's made of thick, high quality silicone as well. It grips the table, so it's on another silicone mat. I can feel it just gripping that, but it will likely, because it's silicone, grip your table as well, and it should fit nicely and not slide around, so no more chasing your mold across the surface. So if you pop down things on here, wherever it is, it's not going to budge. You know, even if I just pop down one of my makes, it's really good. And I love decent quality silicone, and I feel like this is what it's made of. The surface is really smooth, so I imagine it's going to be easy to peel off dried resin. We'll know when we test it in the next few projects, and I can imagine how satisfying that is going to be. I have got a few drips here. Oops. I have got a few drips here, and you can see that popping them on there that it would collect quite nicely. And if you were to drip into here, it would go in between these crevices, and then ideally you can lift the mat up and pull out the different bits of silicone that fall into the gaps there and collect. So having a look at some of the details about this mat online, it is heat resistant and non-stick. It's waterproof, super easy to clean with a wet wipe, so you can just wipe it away. And like I said, you can just peel off any dried resin if you leave it overnight. It saves you from having to constantly clean after yourself, which is a pet peeve of mine. When I'm doing a resin craft, I like to just concentrate on the craft and getting it done, rather than constantly having to clean this and that. And Resin has also sent me the wonderful resin mixer, the dual head mixer with the silicone paddles. So the great thing about the silicone paddles is that it's the upgraded version, and you can just crack the resin off it the day after when it's dried. You don't need to be constantly cleaning it as you go. So that really saves on things like wet wipes and alcohol, right? Having said that, if you get drips on you and you want to clean it straight away, you can just wipe it with some isopropyl alcohol and a wet wipe if you want to. It's reusable, and I'm told it's eco-friendly, so you're not throwing out paper or wasting materials after every project if you're just allowing it to dry or cure on the mat. And it's great for things like smaller projects, I think, when you're using lots of different containers and silicone cups and whatnot. So you can place them all on here, and you know, I've got my different utensils here as well, so I can pop these on my silicone. I have everything ready, you know, to use, so I can pop them there, and I can just organize myself a lot better, you know. So if you're doing things like resin coasters or jewelry, keychains, mixing, painting, and even if you're baking, you can use this mat. Obviously don't use this in your kitchen if you're planning on using it for resin as well, so you need to make sure you're staying safe, health and safety wise. So being double-sided means you can dedicate one side to resin and the other side maybe for a different type of material or product, or maybe keep your different bits and bobs on this side and pop your used resin utensils on this side. So if you're into resin or any kind of craft that can get messy, this Resiners Silicone Mat is definitely a must-have, I think. I am going to try it out on the next few resin projects I've got upcoming, so you'll see it in action. And if you found this review or unboxing helpful, let me know and hit that like button and tell me what you'd use this mat for. What kind of stuff are you into and what would you use it for? I'll do a wide angle shot for you so you can see it in full. So you can really see the size of it here. It's a very good size and really, really useful when I'm mixing up my resin, when there's spillages, when I need to put down one of my mixing sticks or silicone spatula or my mixing cups, whether that's the silicone ones or the plastic ones. I sometimes use paper cups as well, which can have spillages, so I love the fact that I can put all my tools to the one side and have the spillages on the other side, or the dirty kind of resin covered tools on the left. The mat really helps protect my table and keep everything mess free, so if any of my resin drips, it's no problem at all. I don't have to worry about it. You can see I also store some of my resin tools such as my digital thermometer and long neck lighter on it as well, and sometimes my micropigments. So also the paddle as well, the silicone mixing paddle from Resiners, I sometimes place that on there when I'm trying to get on with doing the rest of my project. And from using it, I realised the cleanup is just basically effortless. It's so easy just to wipe up or just leave it on the mat to cure and lift it off when it's fully cured. I'm just going to quickly do a very little project, which is putting a backing onto one of my resin blooms, and I've just popped my resin in the cup in there and just spraying some alcohol on. And I don't have to worry about the alcohol spraying everywhere because it's on the mat there. I'm getting rid of those bubbles in my resin, and I'll mix it up with some mica pigment in a moment from Let's Resin. I'm going to be using black to back this bloom, and I'll just mix it up. So worrying about drips is a non-existent problem when you're using this mat. I've got my spatula there which has dripped right into the mat, and I don't mind that at all. So I'm pouring the rest of my resin onto my bloom there, and it doesn't matter at all if anything drips off the cup, which it just did there, as you can see, because they will just peel off later very, very easily. And again, my spatula there as well is covered in resin, but that's fine as well. So It's just a game changer. So just a recap of the features of the Resiners Dual-Zone Mat. It's reusable and non-stick. It's waterproof and heat resistant. I find it very aesthetically pleasing with the colouring, and it's great quality, thick and sturdy. It's also very, very easy to clean because you can just peel off any dried resin or wipe away any uncured resin with baby wipes and alcohol. I really like that there's two different separate zones to it, so I can organise my projects better, so I can put the sticky mess on the raised surface, and I can put my projects on the other side, or my tools on the other flat surface. So I really love that about it, and I love the size. It fits nicely on my table and workspace. So if you're into resin of any kind or craft that gets messy, this Resiners silicone mat is definitely a must-have in my opinion. I can't wait to try it out on my next project. Maybe you already have this mat. If so, let me know what you use the mat for. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. It's definitely a game changer for me in my resin crafts, whether it's blooms, trays, trinkets, jars, or other types of things that I create. I really am enjoying using it. I hope this review was useful to you. Do use the discount code down below, and again, thank you very much for joining us every single week on Saturdays for the Creative Art Collective, which starts at 1 PM EST, that's 6 PM GMT or British Standard Time, and I hope to see you in the live chat for everyone up after me. Next up is Let's Pour with Patty. See you there.